Hi, you, Shan. Just going for a walk in the Royal Botanical Gardens here, and just wondering where you might be walking today. I've tried making lots of videos and they're not very good, so we'll see how this one goes. I'm just going down to the special place where I go to feel your spirit, and I feel your spirit through the big tree there, which is the tree that can help me feel what you describe as the original. I say origin, the origin from where we come from, but you can say original. And this is where our dragons come from as well. So this tree is like the dragon because it helps take me back to where our origin all began. So here we have lots of lovely trees around us. It's so beautiful here. So I wonder how you are feeling about going to China and seeing your mum. I'm thinking about that a lot because I have been having some problems with a friend of mine, which is very emotional. It's very emotional. And I'm having some problems with Angela, which is very emotional, because we feel these things in our inner child. So our inner child can feel very frightened and scared and hurt. So I'm hoping you feel okay when you're thinking about your mum. And maybe you can tell me how to make yourself feel more comfortable about seeing your mum. I can think of, before you left, we said you can pretend you are talking to me when you come back from your trip, and you can tell me the story of seeing your mum and how it went. And this is sometimes easier to look at things from what we call the future. So instead of looking forwards into the future, we imagine we are in the future and we are looking back, telling the story of what happened. Now, this is my tree, my special tree that I love, which helps me feel your spirit. And here is the other. It's not really a tree, but it is a lovely big bush, what we call a bush. Yeah. And this helps me feel your spirit as well. Good. And here is the lovely tree. So beautiful. Reminds me of what we say in English, the dinosaurs. When the big dinosaurs were in the world was very, very, very old. So and if you remember our game we played with the tree before you left, I'll see if we can play it now because it's a fun game. So if we put our hands on the tree and we try to feel the roots. Now, if we can't feel the roots, we can lean our weight into the tree a bit more. And if we still can't feel the roots, we drop our weight into the tree and down into the tree. We lean into it and down until we can feel the roots. And then once we get what we call an anchor point down in the roots, once we anchor down into the roots, it's very easy to feel the tree all the way up through the trunk and out into the branches and out into the space around us. Good. And then if we want to, we can feel the tree roots, and then we can feel roots going down through our own feet into the ground. Good. And we can go anywhere we like in the world through the ground. So I can go to you now, going through the ground, yes, and feeling you, feeling the earth underneath you. In Taiwan, I can feel the earth there now. This is very nice. So feeling the earth and the roots of the trees coming up, and the animals, I can feel the animals. I'm trying to feel you now, so yes, I can always feel you. That's very easy. I don't need to go under the earth to feel you. So, but I will try to feel you through the earth now. So let me just see if I can feel you. It's a little bit hard actually. It's easier for me to go straight to you with my spirit than it is to go through the earth to feel you. Maybe because you need to take your shoes off and walk on the grass and on the natural ground with your feet. Maybe that's why I'm not quite feeling you through the earth, because maybe you are wearing your shoes too much. I don't know. So now what we can do is step away from the tree, and still we don't need to touch the tree. We can try to feel the tree's roots. And if we can't, we just lean our energy body, can lean our spirit into the tree. And if we still can't feel the roots, we lean into and down. We drop down into the tree. And when we feel the roots, it's like we feel this energy, this force going up through the trunk and out into the branches, and out into the space around the tree. It's lovely. And you can still do the same thing. Go anywhere on the whole earth, down through the roots, into the earth and out to anywhere in the whole world. So that's a fun game. I hope that's a fun game. Oh no, we will leave the game for now. And can I just tell you about my friend I'm having a problem with? And I hope you will be alright with your mum. And if you can speak English about your mum, that will be fine or right to me. Your English has really been very good in your videos, and in your texts it has been fine. So my friend was living next door to me. He was my neighbor for 7 years, and he is nice. His name is Glenn. I liked Glenn, and I would visit him sometimes, but he would always ask me to do favors for him. I hope you understand the English word favors, and I don't like this. So I keep telling him, I don't like this, Glenn. Don't ask me to do things for you all the time. But he doesn't listen. He will listen for a short time, and then he will do it again. And just before he left, he was doing this a lot. And on the day that he left, he wanted to leave me with all these empty boxes. And he said, I have one last thing for you to do for me, which is to take these empty boxes away. And I was so angry. So I said to him, I cannot believe you are asking me to do this. I cannot believe you are asking me to do this. So anyway, Glenn has gone now, but I got a text from him the other day, and he said, I'm coming to Hobart. Would you like to meet up with me if it suits you? And I texted back and I said, hi Glenn, no, I'm still very upset about what you did when you left. And he texted back and said, oh, I didn't know you were so upset. And I texted back and said, well, I don't know what I have to say to you to make you realize how uncomfortable I feel when you give me all these tasks, all these jobs to do, and ask me for all these favors. You know, I feel very uncomfortable, and you don't listen, you don't understand. So this is a few days ago, and of course Glenn has not replied. And Angela got very cross with me. She got very upset with me and said I should not have spoken to Glenn that way. And anyway, so that is very upsetting. So I feel very bad about all of this, and I feel very bad that Angela is upset with me. This is really painful for me. And I feel bad because I don't know what to do with Glenn, because we have been friends, but I feel as well that he has always used me, and we are friends for as long as I am doing things for him. I am useful to him, you know. So I do not like this. So Glenn is not like your mother at all, but in some way he is, because he likes to control people. He likes to make people do things for him. And sometimes he will not tell you things so he can control you. So this is very upsetting for me. I do not like this at all. But I feel Glenn has some problems, and I think maybe I should be more understanding. And this is what hurts my heart, because I think yes, Glenn has some problems, but I have some problems too, because I get very upset when I feel people are using me, and I need to tell people that I will not be used. So this is very painful for me. So I don't know. Sometimes when things happen to people because we feel close, maybe my story is interesting for you. Maybe it is something that can help you think about your mother, even if it is to know that you are not alone. You know, your mother is trying to control you, but lots of people try to control us in many different ways. With Glenn, he is not like your mother, but in some ways he is, because he's controlling. And when I first met Glenn, he was always criticizing me. You know, he stopped doing that, thankfully, as he got to know me more. There are lots of examples of people trying to control other people, and I have given you my story about this. And maybe you have some ideas for me about this. So I hope you have been finding some nice trees and nature, and maybe some animals, and maybe some nice people, and maybe you have been speaking some Chinese and some English. I always love to hear your stories of your inner world, your inner child, and also in the outer world, what you are doing and what you are seeing, what you are feeling, always, always. And I hope you are talking a lot to your inner child and your inner teenager and your inner baby and your inner young adult, and to your origin, your original source, through your dragon, and remember, through the forest in Bali, you could feel that original source where we come from, through the forest. And this is what my tree helps me with as well. I can feel the original source through this tree very easily. And I feel like why our spirit is the same, it's like the same spirit, is because you feel that connection to the original source, and you have a dragon who comes from that original source. And I feel the original source, and I have a dragon, and I have a tree, and I have a tree, a lovely tree that reminds me of you, to connect me to that source. So both of us have a spirit, the same spirit that comes from that source, which is very nice for me. And wherever you go, I feel I am going with you, and my world is bigger. My world and my spirit is bigger. Wherever you go, I feel I am both here and where you are. So it's very nice for me. Now, next time we can talk more about maybe our inner child, talking to our inner child, and baby and teenager and origin, but not today. We can do that maybe next time. Bye for now, Yushin. Sometimes do you worry that with your mum, that if you say something she does not like, that she will become very angry? But also, do you worry that what you say will really hurt her, will make her very upset, you know? And do you worry that you don't like to upset people? This is how I feel with my friend Glenn. As I told you, I think he has some problems, and I feel like I should be kinder, I should be more nice to Glenn, because maybe he is doing the best he can with his problems, and your mum feels she has to control you, to control things. And I think when we are like that, it's because we don't feel in control in our inner world, and our inner child does not have enough feeling of what we say in English, security, does not feel safe. So somebody who tries to control other people is, I think, often a person who does not feel safe inside. And I think, well, I'm sure this is what makes Glenn try to control people, but I think sometimes he makes this into a game where he likes to control people and thinks sometimes that he is good at this, and to control people is a good thing, something that he can feel proud of and clever about. I don't know if Bill is like this sometimes, but I think when we feel safe inside, we don't need to control people. I think when we feel safe and we feel good interaction between our inner world and our outer world, we don't need to control people, I don't think. So I just wonder what you think about this and what it is like for you to see your mum and how it feels, and what do you think when you talk to your mum about her trying to control you. I wonder how that feels to you and what you think is the best way to talk to her about this.